on?
Yeah.
Alright guys, Belzebel has convinced me to tell you guys how I make mac and cheese, which is apparently very difficult, but we're gonna go over. We're making 2 boxes of mac and cheese because we're cooking for 3 people. First thing you want to do, get a big pan. Alright, fill up with water about halfway and just crank it up on high. You're gonna wait for it to bubble and then we'll throw the pasta in, right? But beforehand, each box uses half a stick of butter, so we're gonna do 1 full butter. I prefer to use unsalted butter because cheese is usually pretty salty, so what you're gonna do is you're going to kind of cut it a bit to kind of just help it melt when you put it in. How you cut it is all up to you. I like to do it the very difficult way, very difficult. But so I'm just gonna cut that. Make sure your knife is sharp beforehand. Always be cautious with your fingers. And this butter came straight out of the freezer, so that's not fun.
You have strong muscles.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, so that's good. You set that aside for later. Now, mac and cheese is usually pretty bland by itself, so I like to throw in a protein. My favorite is hamburger. Hamburger is really easy to cook. You just kind of throw in some like ground up hamburger and just mix it up and make sure it's really small. But today we're going to be using bacon, so I'm going to be using like 4 strips of bacon, and we're going to, after it's cooked, I'm going to kind of chop it up. You can chop it up beforehand, but I don't really like to do that.
We're not gonna put in the pan. Oh, separate, right? Good.
Yeah, it's separate. Now usually it's probably better to use a bigger pan, but you know, small brain, didn't think about that, so we're just going to let it cook. It's going to shrink, we're going to move it, and everything's going to be okay, right? So let's get ourselves something to move that stuff around with. This is good. Usually want to use tongs with bacon so you can kind of pick them up and flip them around. So it's just small. But we're going to chop it up anyway, so don't be afraid to kind of just squeeze them in there. Bacon likes to kind of spit up grease a lot, so have like a little...
A little?
Or pan thing, you know? It's fine. You know what? Work with what you got. It doesn't matter. Alright. Part of the prep too is have something ready to drain your noodles with. So, yeah, now we wait. And this is where you jump cut to be putting the noodles in. Okay, so now the water's boiling. You could tell that it's boiling by the way it is. So now you're going to put noodles in. I like to put 1 in, stir a little, and put second 1 in. Normally when you're making pasta or something, you put like a little salt, but to help prevent it from sticking, but Kraft mac and cheese doesn't do that. So I'm using the same tongs that I used to flip the bacon. Bells hates bacon, but she'll never taste the difference. Also, this prevents me from using like 5 different things to wash, so I just use the same one. Keep an eye on your bacon. You know, pick this thing up. It might be a little hot depending on what you're using. Flip it. You know, whatever. Cool. Some people like to drain that bacon fat when they're cooking. Doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. I like to keep it there because it helps keep it warm. I like to cook bacon kind of like at a medium-low temperature. Anyway, early on it's really important that you keep kind of stirring your noodles every once in a while. You're not necessarily stirring to like get them rotating. You're stirring them so that it'll stick to the bottom. So there we go. Voila. And now this is where we jump cut to when either the bacon's ready or the noodles. One thing, once you get your noodles in and they kind of start to like boil and kind of like jump to the top, turn your heat down from full on to like medium or so. You just want to get that temperature of the water up. Also, you can, if you are making bacon like me, you can tell that it's done. I like it crispy, really crispy for when I cut it up for the... It's really loud, I love that sound. I like it really crispy for the mac and cheese. So take it off. I'm not going to drain it just yet, so I'm going to kind of set it aside.
Jump.
Jump. Close on this one. Alright, so it's been about like 8 minutes or so since we started, which is normally when these noodles would be done. So what you want to do is grab yourself one without burning yourself. Feel it. It should, I don't know how to describe it, but it should just kind of feel done. Another test is you can kind of like place up against the wall. If it's sticking, you know what? It's sticking to my hand. That means it's good. It's ready. If it's sticking to something, if you want to throw it against the wall, and it sticks, it's good too. Yeah, so it's ready. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your burner off. Always turn your burners off when you're done using them. Just right away. That's the first thing you should do. So you're going to come over here. You're going to have your strainer ready in the sink already. You're going to strain the noodles. Now, it's very important you do not rinse the noodles. So we're just going to kind of sit there, let them drain. Now, we cut up our butter. Over here. We cut up our butter already, so... Oh, don't do that. We cut up our butter already, so we're going to come over here and we're going to throw it in. You can kind of see how I said earlier about how the hot pan will already just kind of melt the butter for you, which is very good. That's two things. First, you're coating your pan in butter so the noodles won't stick when you put it back in. So kind of make sure you get butter all around, just like that. Kind of place it off of the hot pan. Usually you kind of want to keep it on like a wooden board so you don't burn anything. So we're going to put that there. Grab our noodles, kind of swish it around a bit. Okay, all that heat is good. It's good. So we're going to put it in here with our butter. Make sure you get every last noodle. Very nice. Put this back in the sink. We're not done with it.
Lily's tickling me.
Yeah.
Hi, Lily.
So you want to stir the butter in. Stir the butter in a little bit. And that's good. So next step is to put the cheese in. So we got 2 packets of cheese. You can just open it up kind of near the top. Put the cheese in. Now, here's a good tip. Now we add the liquid. You can either do milk or water. Now we're out of milk, so we're gonna do water today. Take your packet of cheese and fill it up. Oops. to near the top. See that? Near the top? And that's the amount of water you want to use. No need to measure anything. Seriously, no need to measure anything. So we're going to do that. I like to kind of stir one cheese at a time. Just kind of get that one in there. Perfect. Now we're going to do the other one. You can add more water if you like it. If you like it really thin. I like my mac and cheese a little thick. Right there.
Really?
Water. That's probably good. Well, we're not gonna put all the water in there on this one. We're gonna see what it looks like after we stir it a bit. So usually when we stir, you don't need to over stir. You just need to just kind of gently stir, fold. Make sure you get the sides, fold it back in. Normally you don't do this with tongs, but because I'm cooking bacon, that's just what I'm using. So that looks good. I'm not going to add more water. So I'm just going to toss out the rest of the water. Clean as you cook. So I'm going to place this over here for now. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bacon. I'm going to use that same strainer because, you know, that's stuff. I'm going to put our bacon in there. That's good. Clean as you cook. Alright, so we're going to take our bacon. We're just going to place it on our wood. It's really crispy. This stuff is really hard, right? So, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a knife and your tongs. You can kind of put them in a line. And because we're going to put it on our mac and cheese, we want it to be like little bacon bits. So, kind of just hold it there and you just cut them up. You're probably a lot better than me at this. By you, I mean the viewer, not Belzebel.
Wow.
I said that because you don't like bacon. Alright, and then what you do with that? Bless you. Jesus.
Thank you.
Just put that in a little bowl. Use your hands, use whatever. Doesn't matter, just get it in the bowl. Whoa, there's your bacon bits. By the time you're done with that, your mac and cheese has settled, so it's actually like feels good to touch. And then, even though I used the tongs, we're going to actually use a spoon to scoop it out. So, grab your favorite bowl, scoop it out. Yeah, I like a lot of mac and cheese. You can use the tongs. And put your bacon bits in there. However much you'd like. Now, if you eat your mac and cheese with a spoon, you probably play stall or rain. I'm just saying. You should always eat your mac and cheese with a fork.
What about the sauce?
And now, have a great day.
You ignore me.
What about the sauce? What sauce?
Well, with the fork, the sauce will drop down, right?
No, because you let the cheese settle. When you make mac and cheese, when you first make it, it's kind of liquidy, but over time it settles. It settles.
Okay.
Do you eat pasta with a spoon?
No, I was just asking because other people could question, you know?
Mac and cheese is a pasta. Do you eat pasta with a spoon? No.
No.
Eat it with a fork.
Are you angry?
Yes. How dare you question eating mac and cheese with a spoon? Okay. Goodbye.
What'd you say about that, Lily? Wow.
Who's ready?
Fine.